Who am I supposed to trust when everyone sees me as a means to their ends? Where am I supposed to go when I don't exist? How do I know where I belong when I don't even know who I am? I have no real name. I'm just a number to them, a weapon, a pawn in a war I don't want to be involved in. Division M and the Prime Syndicate are two sides of the same coin. They exist because of each other. I exist because of them. I was supposed to be a solution, a way towards peace. But I'm just another problem, a liability, a mistake. I have more enemies than I can count. What am I supposed to do? I can't do this alone. I need friends.
Yes, there we go. There we go, guys. Hello, everyone, to another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their books and their lives and their campaigns and their projects, because people often invite me to their shows and give me time on their platforms, and I appreciate it, and I want to do something in return for this amazing community. Okay, guys, what can I tell you for a little update, right? A little update. I try to start every Drink with Brink with a little update. Sometimes I show you things, sometimes I tell you things. And this time I have some news, right? So for the last few months, I have been promoting the pre-launch campaign for American Bliss, Father's Pride Part 1. And finally, we are getting ready to launch. It will launch this month, in a few weeks, guys, in a few weeks. So sign up while you still can. It'll be awesome. And we will have this launch event on someone's channel, someone who is pretty known. So I'm looking forward to it. The link is in the description of this video. So sign up if you haven't yet. American Bliss Father's Pride. All right. Thank you all for showing up. Let's see who is in the chat. I saw Aria. Hello, Aria. Hail. Welcome, Aria. Always good to see Aria from the UK. And then we have Tony Horton. Hey, Tony Horton. Hello, all. Hope all is well with everyone. Yes. And we hope all is well with you also, sir. And then we have Replicants. Welcome, Replicants. Hello, dudes. Hello, hello. How are you doing? And I saw Ryu. Ryu, he calls himself Aviation Novels, but I know it's Ryu. I know it's Ryu. Welcome, welcome, sir. Then we have proper comics. Hail chat, hail proper comics. Welcome. Amanda B is here. Wow, Amanda B, that's amazing. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Yes, good evening to me. Um, and Mike, drink H2O. Oh yeah, American Bliss update. Oh yeah, welcome Mike. Good to see Mike also. Okay, guys, I got a ring light now, so I have now light. My lighting is better. So slowly, I'm getting professional, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying. It's going slow but steady. So yeah. Okay, guys. Um, yeah. So our guest today, I never really interacted with him before, which is strange because everyone knows their campaign. It's an amazing campaign with a book that has stellar reviews. So I was so happy that he could be on my show today. So without further ado, may I have a warm welcome for Karl Stephan.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey, Dave, you right?
Yes. How are you, Karl?
Good to see you. No, it's good. It's good. It's like a show on the European side for a change. You know, we it's nice Sunday afternoon here. Don't know what it's like in Het Koeland, but it's dark here already.
That's a good thing that I don't have to compete with all the other channels. They usually are at the same time zones, and then there's little me right here in this strange time zone here. So yeah, that sometimes helps.
24 hours. That's the aim.
Exactly.
24-hour coverage.
CHUBB. Do you want me to call you CHUBB or Karl?
Go for CHUBB or Karl. I really don't mind. It's just so long story. People have been confusing me with Carlo Rowe for some reason. Apparently, two Carls in comics.
Oh right, yes, yeah.
On this side of the world, so it's like it must be the same
Yeah.
guy.
Okay, so CHUBB. I will call you CHUBB. CHUBB, what are you drinking?
Just coffee. Coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah. No, I know. I just I always used to drink on streams, but I've kind of cut down on drinking in general. You know, my wife still drinks a lot though. Whenever she's on a stream, she gets totally.
Right. So it's not like when you make your comic book that you have to get in the right mindset. So you need to drink a lot.
It's a stereotype, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to, like everybody else, I used to drink quite a bit. But you know, when you grow up, you got kids and stuff, you kind of cut back on all that sort of thing. Looking after my health a bit more these days. Cut back on sugar. I have, for the last 2.5 months, I have not been eating any sugar, so that's been great. It's been really good.
Oh, how do you avoid that? That
skin's a bit
seems
better.
difficult sometimes, right?
For the first week, I was unmanageable, but after that, it became much easier. You know, the first week, just going through the cupboards, you know, there's nothing in the house because you prepare for this. You make sure that nobody's bought anything sweet. You've gotten rid of everything sweet in the cupboards and stuff, and you just then you just pace up and down the house looking for something that you might have forgotten about or whatever. But
wow, you're serious about this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it because I'm like this. It's easier. Same with drinking. It's easier for me to stop it completely than cutting down on it. You know. You know, because once you have a little bit, you want more and more and more. Just triggers something. So it's best just to go cold turkey, I think.
Yes, this is right. I had the same thing with meat. Like 10 years ago, I suddenly decided no more, and never ever since any meat. Amanda B says that's the bad thing, moderation. Or that's not a bad thing, moderation. Yes.
Yeah. That's the name of the game.
So what does CHUBB? What does it stand for?
It's literally, I was a fat kid when I was at school.
Right.
And people called me CHUBB. Be fat.
It was your nickname.
Yeah.
You just adopted this.
I just turned it around, and now
right.
It's my weapon. weaponized.
Exactly. Okay. So CHUBB, what is your history with comic books? Is this your profession, or is it something you do at the side? What's the story behind this?
Oh, it's just a hobby. It's a hobby.
Right.
I don't work in the creative industry at all. I've always just loved comic books. I've always loved to draw, and tell and stories. I think that pretty much makes up most people in indie comics. You know, if you
Yeah.
pay the bills somehow and you kind of find time to do this as well. No, I grew up with comics. My earliest comics that I've was Asterix, and Obelix, and the British comics, obviously. You know, I love 2000 AD. European
Right.
comics feature quite strongly, which is why I'm so interested that you're in the Netherlands, because I just want to find out more and more about that market and about people's hobbies and reading habits. Just Europe in general is very interesting to me in that sense, because I took a trip to Italy a while back, and it was incredible to me how you could buy comics everywhere, not just specialist comic shops, but everywhere, restaurants,
Restaurants?
literally, I went to a pizza place and there were just stacks of comics along the walls, and you could buy them. You
Holy
know,
shit!
yeah,
Wow.
you go to a stationery place and there's comics, there are kiosks selling comics, and then you still have your specialist comic book shops everywhere, and they're cheap.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, you know, but you go to the UK and you know there's hardly anywhere you can buy them,
Yes. Yeah. The
and
same
they're
here.
expensive.
Yeah.
And I think these two things go together. You know, I can't really talk. Like I crowdfund, I charge the same as everybody else as for my comics. Obviously, they're expensive and they're geared towards adults, but they're, you know, it's young people, old people, everybody, and everybody can afford them. I bought
Right.
a bunch of Italian comics and I can't read them, but it was too because they look really good. What were you
So you
asking?
bought it, but you can't read it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
that's it.
Just
Yeah,
pretty pictures. Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Mike says, I'd never heard the explanation for your screen name. Now, Karl wears monk robes and karate chops things in half.
Yeah, I did a stop motion thing. It was for our CG UK show. It was like a little interlude where I did, yeah, we just got a whole bunch of stuff, cut them in half, and I chopped them, I karate chopped them. It was a long process, but it was fun. Everybody needs some sort of angle to promote themselves with, and everybody goes the YouTube route. So I've given it a shot, but I'm not a YouTube guy as such,
No.
really.
No, me neither. Me neither, man. But it's it's the first time I did this, I was so nervous and I was like, I can't do this. So I tried to talk myself to. It was very easy to talk myself out of it, but I pushed through it, and now it's getting easier.
Yeah.
You just need to do it, man.
Yeah, I just ignore. I just talk to like anybody I would have a conversation with, but I realize there has to be a bit more structure. There has to be something, you know. There has to be something else. And some people are really good at it. You know, some people are really good at making little interludes into news topics. You know, yeah. Anyway, it's a skill, and I think everybody's got to develop that. It's that one thing to promote their comics, because that's how it works now. No
Right.
publishing,
Yes.
anything else. Yeah. So I was published with an American comic book company called Slave Labor Graphics.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard of them. They
No.
do.
No, they're new to me.
Yeah, it's like an indie publisher. They published my first graphic novel.
Right.
And apart from that, I've just been self-publishing after that, because they don't really do comics anymore. They kind of fell in the dip after the recession. They just stopped publishing comics.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. These things happen. Yeah. These things happen. So you tried publishers, right? But what made you decide to make your own comic book?
I don't know. I can't really write that well. My drawings are right, and you know, you take two, you know, half talents and you put them together, and you tell your story the best way you can. You know, with words alone, not really with pictures alone, not really with words and pictures. Yeah, I think it's just because I think it's also because I've been exposed to comics for so long, and I enjoy reading. It's almost like a natural. It's like a natural progression. You just want to do it. I think everybody gets asked this question, like, so what was the comic that made you think, hey, I could do that? You know, hey, I could, you know, and I think it must have been like Tank Girl. You know,
all right, yeah,
yeah, the Tank Girl comics by Hewlett and Martin. When I saw that, it was just like, this hasn't got a plot. This must be easy to write.
I can do this.
Yeah, the art was obviously stellar. But I thought, damn, I can do this. You know, I can write this definitely. I'll see if I can draw it, and just took it from there. Started making terrible comic books,
Yes.
and just plodded along.
Right. Sporehacker is here. Hey, welcome, Sporehacker. He says, "A pity." I'm not sure what he's referring to. So yeah, so you had the story, or did you develop the story when you thought, I'm going to make a comic book?
It kind of grew like with this particular story. I mean, I'll explain to everybody who aren't familiar with Mary Boys. So basically, they're four kids. This is the book for the first campaign, which is also available on the current one. So they're four kids, British kids, in a broken little English town, who suffer from this birth defect, whereby they can't grow any body hair. They've got cleft palates, they've got big hands, big feet, and when they drink beer, they become stronger and faster. You know, like most people, when they get drunk, they think they can accomplish anything stronger. They really get stronger, and they can fight really well. And they were raised by this Catholic priest, who raised them in the fighting traditions of the Order of the Knights Templar. So, you know, they can fight in formation, fight as a team, and they basically fight antisocial elements in their little English town. So criminals, football hooligans, all sorts of social evils, to avoid a biblical apocalypse, because the priest who raised them, he's an alcoholic, and he has visions of a terrible thing that's going to happen to the village or the town if they don't do that, if they don't purge the town from all its sins. And this is him over here, Father Parish.
Oh, wow. All right.
Cops are very suspicious of him, obviously. Known troublemaker. He doesn't wear any socks. He's a bit like, if anybody's watched Father Ted, he's a bit like, he's like a combination of the cast there.
Father Ted. It sounds typically British.
Yeah, it's a TV series. Yeah. But and I did anyway. So how did I come onto that idea? So basically, the base idea for that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because there's four of them. They're brothers, and they're not mutants, but they've got like a birth sort of defect, and the rest of it is just punk rock shenanigans, really. It's like this weird combination of all sorts of things that I've read, the way that I feel. Let's talk about feelings. It's
hey, go ahead, man.
It's almost like this is you know, with all the stuff, we don't have heroes anymore. We've got anti-heroes. This is almost like they are Catholic, so they are, you know, intrinsically conservative kids. But they
does that play a role in your own life as well?
Well, I guess I'm a conservative in a way. I'm a liberal in the sense that I believe you can make any sort of comics that you want, and I've got no problem with anybody doing what they want. But this is almost like a punch back towards the modern culture, where you can't have comics like this anymore. You know, you got to pander to whatever the politically correct framework that you're given. This smashes that apart, and it's more akin to the comics in the 80s and 90s that you would have, you know, that just did not care about any of that stuff, and it's there to have fun.
Right. So your comic was more like reactionary to the culture from.
Basically, yeah. It was like it is a bit retro in that sense, and the art is retro too. I'm a huge fan of the old Mad Magazine artists, the EC Comics book art. You know, like Mort Drucker, Jack Davis, Wally Wood, all these guys, and a lot of, you know, there's a lot of 2000 AD artists that I really, you know, like Mick McMahon, McMahon, Kevin O'Neill, all these guys, all just mashes together. It's from a different era in a way, and crowdfunding is the only way to do this, because as soon as people see I'm doing like this, oh, you're committing crimes and they're Catholic, okay, they're not going to publish this thing. Nobody's going to publish this except me.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Let me see. Mike says, my drawings are all right. Your style is unique and an instant attraction. Love the wash and gray tone look.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'll keep going.
Yeah. Sporeka says, I'm not the best writer either, but I make it work for myself. So CHUBB, you write your own books. You didn't hire someone to write it for you, right?
No. I'm too cheap to have anybody do anything on the book.
Right. Yeah.
I letter it myself too. It's always been like that.
So how did you manage to overcome your doubt about your own writing skills?
I think it's a process. I think I got books on how to structure stories, how to set them up, how to develop characters, how to make them work. And I think a lot of the bugs I worked out with the first graphic novel that I did, they got accepted by a publisher. So after that, I thought, okay, well, I've got some basic idea of how to do this. So then it was good enough for somebody else to publish. So
what was your first graphic novel?
It was called Sparko.
Sparker?
Sparko. It's
Sparko.
It's very British. It's very Sparko is a word that means if you are out cold, if you've been knocked out, or if you've had far too much to drink and you're just lying in the street, just Sparko.
You're Sparko. Okay.
It's Cockney rhyming slang. It rhymes with Donnie Darko. So you're out dark, lights out, Sparko.
Right.
And it takes place in London, and it's about basically a rock star who goes off the deep end. Anyway, and he finds this magical world under the city, and he has to find his way out again. It's a bit weird, but it's fun.
All right. We have someone here with the name I got reaction. All right. I'm separate from angry, neurotic, emotional mess of the replicator. All right. Welcome anyway. So okay. You made your own. You're getting great reviews. This is the second issue, right?
What I'm doing now, it's a follow-up. So the first two comics, these were the origin story. It's a 2-part origin story.
Oh wait.
And the new book is 76 pages, and it's 4 self-contained stories. So you could almost say that the origin story and these 4 stories are still part of some sort of Act 1, if you were going to structure it like that. But they've got their own, the idea of it is these are little glimpses into their everyday lives, little mini adventures, tells you a bit more about the characters themselves, and fleshes a lot of things out. It's more descriptive of their world. I can go into every story if you want. It's
this is the story for the current book, right?
For the current one. So it's not really a follow-up. It's almost like it's just it's a compilation of short stories in the same universe.
Okay, let's then bring up your campaign after these messages.
Here we go. Never far from a bloodstained paddle. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to metal. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from a glass. With every sip, I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fitting job for a quad of rowdy dumpster babies. We cheat to death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. Or we could pray they repent and let God sort them. I'd rather make them profess and go to war on them. Perfect step, for the proper sequel. It's proper PC Comics, Mary boys, there is no equal. Despite our mother's worst intentions, yeah, we walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers, but now my boots are painted red with sin and petals.
Wow, that was great.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the marketing is spot on, man.
Yeah. I've got a sister who can do stuff like that. I'm on a computer right now, actually. She's got a Mac. That's why I don't have to wear the earbuds and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And she does
Right.
the videos and all that sort of thing. Yeah, shout out to 6 a.m. Comics, Mark Marinelli. That's his track. He made the track.
Oh, that's his music?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So he wrote it especially for your campaign?
Yeah. That's it.
Wow. Cool.
Multi-talent.
Fantastic. Okay, let's share the screen, and then we take a look at your page right here. There we go. All right. Let's see. Mary boys, Beefheads. The boys are back. Well, you're doing great. 18,000. That's fantastic, man. 301 backers. Congratulations.
Very grateful to every single one of them, making dreams come true.
Yeah, people really seem to love this series, man. Did you notice that did you have some trouble in the beginning to get some eyes on this book, and then
I
reviews
did.
came in and suddenly you got more orders?
It had a slow start, and I have to thank Ethan Van Scarver got me on his show.
Oh, really?
Really early on, and it just took off from there. Yes, I got big thanks to Ethan for that. And after that, after we printed it and got into people's hands, and people started doing videos about it, and a lot of people really liked it. So, it kind of generated a lot of its own sort of publicity. But like as I said, I've got to bring up the side on the marketing on this book. Can't rely on other people to do it the way I've been doing it.
Right. Mike says this is a great trailer. I downloaded this entire song. Very catchy. Good.
Thank you. Yeah. Marky's great. I don't think there is a CG campaign without stickers made or something that hasn't been touched by Mark Marinelli.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, he did a review of the comic, of the first 2 comics. It was like a rap review. He recorded a video of himself reviewing the comic. It was absolutely hilarious. And I said to him, "Listen, you got to do me something for the next campaign." I didn't have a link to it now, but it's on there. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. So, okay, some art here. We have some things, a lot of text here. Let's see if we can find some art. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at this. Look at this art style. So did you go to art school or something? No? You're self-taught?
Yep.
Wow, amazing. What are your biggest artistic influences?
Like who? I'd say comic book artists first of all. Like Will Eisner for this particular story. I just love that he does a certain hatching for shadows mixed with watercolor. I think it was when I saw Eisner's stuff and Jack Davis's stuff. They've got this penchant for doing ink washes, and I just loved that so much that I started copying that sort of approach to it.
Because you see this and doesn't require any color whatsoever. It just works in black and white and gray tones. Very nice.
I'm still thinking of doing something in color one day. I love doing color covers, obviously. I love the old Dr. Phil Martin's inks that, like Jack Davis and these guys. Pretty much everybody used those old before Photoshop. They used these ink dyes to color everything, and I love that for covers. I'd actually like to do a small story in color using that material at some point. But for now, it's just going to be black and white.
Right. This is all traditional art, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Except the lettering. Well, not this. Sound effects I'll draw into the art because I think it's nice to have that synergy. But when it comes to speech, speech balloons and captions and things, I always rely on InDesign. I just find it's easier to edit and it's more consistent than trying to do it by hand.
Yeah.
Although it probably looks better. I think good hand lettered comics probably look the best, like the old Cerebus comics.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
the lettering on that is just so expressive and amazing. You know,
Yeah, it's getting really rare hand lettering. It's all digital nowadays. There are a few titles that still do it. I know that the Savage Dragon is still hand lettered.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the rest I think most is digital nowadays. But it looks great, man. So if you write the script, do you sometimes write the script while you draw because you think visually?
Yeah, I do. It's a weird combination of, like, you'll have the seed of an idea, and then it's almost like a grain of sand thrown into a mussel, and the mother of pearl wraps and wraps around it, because you have the seed of idea. You kind of have an idea of where it's going to end, and then I'll start with a few lines of dialogue. It'll literally be like about 4 lines, 5 lines, and then I will start doing some thumbnails, and then visually it'll grow into something else. I don't really know how the process works, but it's like it's right from the beginning. There's a synergy of images and text that are inseparable. And then when I get a whole assortment of thumbnails, I will start thinking about storytelling. How is this paced, and I'll break it down into blocks of pages as required. And then when I have when I've got my thumbnails together and I've broken down the separate pages, then at that point I really letter it, before I start doing the pencils, so that everything works before I touch the actual rendering, part of the process.
Right. So do you know upfront how many pages certain scenes need to be?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Otherwise, it just runs. It'll run away with you.
Yes, exactly. You have to contain it somehow, right?
That's it. You can let it run. You can let it run up to a point, but then you have to decide, when are you going to put a lid on it and say, this is now finished, and now I'm going to render it.
Right. So sometimes you perhaps have certain scenes that you really like, but you think you need to discard them to keep the flow and to keep the pacing, right?
Yeah. Kill your kids.
Yes.
The old expression. And there are so many ideas I've wanted to put in the new collection that I've had to not scrap. I've put them on the back burner. Little scenes and little ideas. Sometimes you'll have, I don't know if it's the same with you, but you don't have a whole story, but you've just got one scene that plays out in your head, and then you build a story around that one scene. It's like a little seed. It's a little, gift from the gods almost, that just lands there. Then you have to do something with. I've got loads of those that I've had to put on the back burner that I'm going to use in future stories.
Yeah. Spore Hacker says, interesting art style.
Thank you.
Mike says, it instantly reminded me fondly of the Brit comic Giles that my dad used to get the collections of for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, I dig Giles. I've got about 25 of those collections on my shelf. They're
right.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I think you explained the basics, right, for the concept. So, but story-wise, what are these stories about?
So these are short stories that take place in the world of Mary Boys. So they live in a small town called Basham, which is quite deprived. Basically, in the origin story, you find out that Basham was actually all right until a big supermarket chain took over and moved out all the small businesses. So it's almost like Walmart moving in and opening up shops everywhere, undercutting businesses, and people, either you work for Walmart or you move out. So it's basically it doesn't have much of an infrastructure, and it's just lost. It's godforsaken. That's the idea. So there's lots of crime, and so the first story is about a procession to the river, where they do this every year. Where the town services have gone completely backwards, and there's always this danger of the river overflowing its banks and spilling over into Basham and destroying everything. And Parish sees it as his duty to march down to the river and placate it and say a prayer. And from there, they move all around the city, and you can find out more. Well, it's one of those things where you have to say, read the story, because it tells you more about the city, it tells you more about his character, and introduces a framework of what it's like at home, and what their relationship is with the local people living in Basham. So this is
Basham. Basham, that's the city.
That's the town.
That's a fictional city.
It's fictional, yeah.
Right.
I got the idea from this. There's a comic called the Bash Street Kids in the Beano, which is this kids comic in the UK. And I thought, how cool would it be to have a town called Basham? So it's like a tip of the hat to that.
Yeah, it sounds really believable to me. It's Basham. Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's a surname, but it's not a place, which is weird.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Great, man. Looks great.
Thank you very much. The first story is like the more serious one. The other three, one semi-serious, semi-comedy. The other two are pure out-and-out high-octane comedy. Like this page is from. I just started with the funnies. I love noir comics. Gangster comics like a Torpedo by a Bully and Geordie Burnett.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, how cool would it be if he had to have a fallout with some local gangsters? Basically, the part of this particular story is that it's a crime family. Now, I have to explain something. In the UK, in the US, a crime family is a collection of criminals. Like you'd have the mafia. It would be called a family, and you'd have the boss, and you'd have people who work for the boss, and it's called a family.
Right.
In the UK, it tends to be an actual family, a family of criminals. They tend to be related to each other. And I thought to myself, how funny would it be if they all had dwarfism? So this is the particular one in Basham. Now, what happened is this one's called Dinky Jones. They all have funny names, and they're references to Guy Ritchie movies in this particular story. But this one's called Dinky Jones, and he dies in unfortunate circumstances, which I won't explain because anyway. So but the family is Catholic, and they want to give him a Catholic burial. So they go ask Parish, because he's the priest in town, and he tells them to bugger off because he won't bury them in his churchyard. So they try and occupy him by leaving a whole crate of booze outside of his door, and they send the boys off to go do something at a local fair on a wild goose chase. So they're busy trying to bury this little corpse. And Parish comes back completely off his face and just starts kicking everybody's asses. It's got a nice little twist to it. It's loads of fun. I really like this one. It's a bit cool.
Looks really funny, man. It's really good stuff. Good stuff. These are.
That's a patch,
right?
Yeah. So I like with the previous campaign. I also did an embroidered patch of just the logo. And people really like that, because I mean the whole idea around it is very the theme, the brand. Well, listen to me, Mr. Comics. The brand is very punk,
Yeah.
So
it's a brand.
It's beers, boots, bats, and embroidered patches, punk rock. So I thought, how nice would it be to every campaign just do a new patch. And this one is the after Mark Marinelli's song, the Lager 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 stomping, theme. So I thought, that's a cool idea.
Right.
Beefheads companion. On the previous campaign, I did a book which was called The Making of Mary Blues, which I have here, and it contained a lot of notes and art that I didn't use for the actual campaign. Stuff like that. Just saying where the idea came from. Like this is for example, this is a page I didn't use. This is a page I drew and then I redrew it again. Just general notes. And I thought, people really liked it last time, so I thought, hell, let's do that again and put it on the new campaign. And it's I've already put all that together. I've compiled it. I've written it, and that's ready for print, ready to go. It's going to be big.
If you've got all these sketches and you have unfinished pages or unused pages, you might as well use them to.
I mean, for my characters, I always do little turnarounds.
Right.
I don't know why I did this, but for every bloody story, there are huge crowd scenes everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what this is like. You write it, and then you're like, now I've got to draw these crowds, and it's for every single one.
What did I do to myself?
Yeah, totally. And so there are loads and loads of little sketches of people in those crowds all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. But,
so it's not. But you don't actually design every character in the crowd. You just draw this crowd, right?
I do a lot of them. I do.
Yeah, right.
At least little face or just little sketches of certain characters to pop out from the crowd.
Right.
So
Right. Then we have this print set, three prints.
Yeah. So that is the two wraparound covers, because I've got the regular issue, and then I've got the cathedral variant, and they're both wraparounds. And these are two huge drawings that just, I thought it would be nice to have, for people to have them without any of the logos or bump around them. So I'm offering those as part of a print set. And the third one is the pig rider, where you can see Father Parish off his face riding a pig on his way to do good in town.
Right.
So that's
Sporacker says, got to go. I have to write a note down in one of my outlines. All right, so he got inspired by your story. Now he has to write it down. All right, man. Thanks for dropping by.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
The comics from the first Merry Boys campaign. 2 comic books.
Yeah, that's it. We overprinted. I tell everybody who do campaigns, you might as well overprint because it's so cheap. You could double your print, your order, and it's not going to cost you that much. You're going to have lots of. Okay, it depends on your relationship with your wife. If she's not going to be happy with you with boxes and boxes.
Yes.
Yeah. Then don't do
it. It's more of a storage problem right here. Yeah. So yeah.
Exactly. It's our tiny little British houses.
So how many pages is the current book?
70. Well, it's 72 pages of comics, and it's going to be 76 pages in total. So I'll be putting in fan art. I'll be putting in all sorts of little things in there, like after. But 72 pages of solid comic books. So it's quite a big chunk of material.
Yeah. All right.
And that was our stretch goal. When we hit 10,000, I said I'm giving everybody a sticker. So it's going to be more or less like that.
And you smashed it. So that's great. That's great. Excellent, man. All right. So it's 76 pages. Yeah. Great. Is there something else about the comic itself that you want people to know, or that we can discuss?
The size. I mean, people have so. We've got different. I think you guys have got the same units of. You got A4. Yeah, American audiences aren't familiar with it, but it's bigger than the usual. I can't know to compare it to. I don't have an American comic.
Yeah, the European albums. Yeah.
Yeah, same size as European albums.
Yeah. We call it albums.
Yeah. Bande dessinée. I love that.
Right.
So the art's bigger.
Okay.
Bigger.
It's a big book. That's great. So you won't be able to. Usually we get these books shipped in Geminis.
That's the problem. I was actually thinking maybe I should reduce it slightly because it makes shipping easier. But
Right. No. No. Yeah. All right, sir. Shall we take a look at the perks then? Let me see. Yeah, the feature perk is the lager tier.
Yeah, That's it. That's all the new stuff. So if you back the previous campaign, then the lager tier will give you all the new stuff. So it's both. It's an issue each of the regular cover and the cathedral variant. You get the patch, you get the Beefheads companion, and you get the 3 print set.
Right.
And those are all saved for, by the way. So
awesome. Bristolian Dave is here. All right, me babbers.
Right, me babbers.
Hello, Dave.
He's from our city.
Oh, really?
Looks like a pirate.
Bristol.
Yeah. Bristol.
He says, I have the first 2 books. The art and story are both fantastic, and it's based in the best city in the world.
That is true.
Basham, right?
Basham, that's the thing. There's a lot. Some of the stuff when I remember when I mentioned about the big corporations taking over and driving everybody away. There was a thing called the Tesco riots in Bristol, where they tried to reduce Tesco chains in a certain part of Bristol, and there were riots over that for fears that something like that might happen. So that's taken from reality.
Okay. All right. Just the old comics. All right. So both the previous books.
That's it. The 2 previous books, and I've still got a stack of prints that I always put a print with it as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
2 books and a print.
Excellent. For just $17, guys. Great stuff. The base book tier. Right.
And just to add, I ship those out immediately because, as I said, loads of boxes full of comics. Yeah. So as soon as we get it works. The postage works out the same. So if we get an order for just the old comics together, like whether it's part of the lager tier or in combination with any of the other perks, we just ship out the comics immediately as soon as people back that. So we've shipped out quite a few for this campaign already.
Right. Mike asks, does a Dave lookalike show up? So does the Bristolian Dave show up somewhere?
No.
No. Oh.
Too late. Maybe one of the little people. Maybe one of the little people.
Yeah. I got it, Mike. I got it. The basic book tier. That's only the book. Yeah. Right. 21 USD. Yeah, that's a great price for a 76-page A format book, guys. So yeah.
I was thinking of the next one. I might do a shorter, cheaper comic, but yeah, I still have to think about exactly what I want to do. Don't talk about big rule. Never talk about the next project before you fulfill the current one. So I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
Very important.
That's basically better. The cathedral variant, that's the variant cover. This is a wraparound. These are wraparound covers, right?
Yeah, they're all wraparound. That's it. And for the cathedral variant, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Gothic architecture. We've got some excellent examples in this city, but I've always just loved that. So I wanted to do something with
the pages here. Look at all this architecture. So you draw from photographs, or what do you use as reference?
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow it very closely. I mean, I'll get like a feel of what something's meant to look like, and then I'll just put it in perspective. Yeah, basically.
All right. Okay, then that was this one. Then the last one is the original page. Oh, cool.
I've sold a bunch of those. I think because I can't remember why, but I think I've sold about 4 of them. But it's only showing up 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I think it's because we changed the tier or something. But yeah. That's
right. So can people pick which page they want?
Yeah. First come, first serve. So what will happen is at the end of the campaign, I'll take photographs of all the original pages, and I'll put that out in a PDF, and I'll send it through to all the backers for these pages. The shipping is included in that price. So as well, as soon as they tell me which page they want, I'll ship that out.
Wow, excellent. Fantastic. All right. Let me see. Is there something else? We have. We can do a little refresh. You never know. You have 301 backers. You never know, man. Let's see. 301. 301. Okay.
It's okay.
That's excellent either way. So
yeah. It's cool. The thing is, while I was working on, because I've got about 4 pages left now to finish, to ink. They're all been penciled ages ago, but so I should be done with all the art by the 14th of October, because I'm taking a little bit of time off to get that done. So I've been avoiding streaming, doing live streams and promotion, all that
you
stuff.
Need to work.
Yeah, because it was meant to have been delivered, finished. It meant to be finished in July, and I've come a little bit over that. So I've gone into full-on work mode. Just want to get it finished, and after that, I'll start promoting it harder again. But right now, the priority is get into people's hands, and
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so estimated end of the year, people will have it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Perfect. Excellent. Looking great. Okay, guys, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat, but it's also in the description, so you can find it easily. Check it out. And while you're at it, you can also still back Perfect 10, Issue 3, and Crossworlds while we are working on the book, right? Pages are coming in, they're being colored, and it looks amazing. Unfortunately, I can't show anything, guys, but we're working hard. And then American Bliss, Father's Pride, Part 1, the sign up page, sign up. We are going live in a few weeks. So I am building the campaign page, and we will have a launch. I'm not saying the date yet, but soon. So yeah, that's it. All right. Well, CHUBB, thank you very much for being my guest today.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much.
If people want to follow you, where can they find you?
On Twitter, I'm at MaryBoys1. And there's a Facebook page that my wife runs. Mary Boys, just look it up. Very easy to find. And it's just really those 2 things. I've got a YouTube, but it hasn't been updated in a year. I think I need to.
Right. Yeah.
But Twitter's probably the best. Twitter and Facebook.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks again for being my guest, and special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up to watch and to listen and to share and to like and to back. And I will have a few extra episodes of A Drink with Brink the upcoming week. So Tuesday I will be with Andy Smith and Dennis Turner about Kordrath. Saturday, my guest will be Irene Straczynski with Findish. I'm not sure if I got the last name right. And then Sunday, Matt Krotz is my guest. So a lot of awesome people coming up, guys.
Esteemed list of people.
Yes. Like, I am so lucky that I get to talk with all you awesome creators. Okay, guys. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.